For the full video, check out my YouTube channel, which is linked in my bio. Anyways, I'm fucking pissed off today, right now. That fucking Rogers wants to take over Freedom Mobile and is planning to take over Freedom. So basically here in Canada, for people watching in other parts of the world, our three largest cell phone companies are TELUS, Rogers, and Bell. Between those three companies, they own 85% of the cell phone market in Canada. At least those are the figures the last time I checked. And Freedom Mobile is the fourth largest cell phone company in Canada. They've been here since about 2008, 2009. They started out as Win Mobile, and then they got bought out by Shaw. And they're now Freedom Mobile. Even though their prices have gone up, they still have the cheapest cell phone service in Canada. And now Rogers wants to take them over, or plans to take them over at some point next year. And we're going to go back to having less competition in the cell phone market, even though, as it currently stands, we don't have enough competition in the cell phone market. Like, I don't know about between TELUS, Rogers, and Bell, like they're just taking over everything. Like, for example, Rogers, they own Fido, they own Chatter. Then they're planning to take over Shaw, which owns Freedom. Bell owns Lucky, as well as Virgin Mobile. TELUS owns Koodo, and they also own Public Mobile. And going across Canada, I went down to Halifax, Nova Scotia last year. They have a company down there called Alliant. Now I noticed that Bell has taken over Alliant. I don't know when that happened, but now that company is called Bell Alliant. And I remember MTS used to be a standalone company over in Manitoba. And when I went out to Winnipeg last year, or 2 years ago I should say, I noticed that MTS is now owned by Bell as well too. So the only standalone company I know of that will be separate from TELUS, Rogers, and Bell, if Rogers is able to do this, is Videotron, which only operates in Quebec, and the only place outside Quebec where they operate is Ottawa, Ontario. I just find it kind of ridiculous that Canada has some of the highest phone prices and internet prices in the world. We have higher phone prices and internet prices in the States. We have higher phone prices and internet prices than many parts of Europe. We have higher phone prices and internet prices in Australia as well too. Even though much of Europe as well as Australia generally have a higher cost of living than Canada, they still have cheaper internet and phone service than us. And as much as I hate Rogers, Bell, and TELUS, I also hate the fact that the Canadian government has allowed this to happen. Like, why the fuck doesn't the Canadian government allow other companies to come into Canada from outside of here? Like, I believe Verizon, a U.S. company, wanted to come into Canada a few years ago. And I guess the Canadian government said no to that. Because, if you look at the U.S., I was talking to one of my co-workers who used to live in the U.S., he told me that with T-Mobile, for example, and possibly other cell phone companies in the U.S., you can purchase unlimited high-speed internet. All these Canadian companies advertise that they have unlimited internet service. The thing is, if you read the fine print, you'll only get a certain amount of high-speed internet, and then you get unlimited low-speed internet service. And unlimited low-speed internet service is pretty fucking useless. Like, try watching a YouTube video or a TikTok video or doing any kind of live streaming on low-speed internet. It just doesn't work. Even if you're doing other internet stuff that doesn't involve live streaming live video, it's still a very difficult, frustrating experience to have to use low-speed internet service. The fucking Canadian government needs to step into the fucking 21st century. Allow foreign competition and stop letting these fucking greedy motherfuckers named Bell, TELUS, and Rogers take over all the smaller competitors. This is fucking bullshit. I've been with Freedom Mobile for 8.5 years now. And yes, Freedom Mobile is far from perfect. There's still a lot of shitty things about them. But in my opinion, they're better than Rogers, Bell, and TELUS. And they've got much better prices than Rogers, Bell, and TELUS. And the thing is, you figure, okay, you go with one of the more expensive companies like TELUS, Rogers, and Bell, and you're going to get good quality service. That's not necessarily the case. Before becoming a Freedom customer, I used to be with TELUS. I was with TELUS for a few years. And besides TELUS being fucking way overpriced and having customer service that fucking sucks ass, the technical quality of TELUS's service also fucking sucks ass. I used to live in Brantford, Ontario, which is a city of about 100,000 people, which is about 100 kilometers west of Toronto. When I was a TELUS customer, I was living just outside downtown Brantford, and even being just outside downtown Brantford back in 2011, 2012, it was fucking painful trying to watch a fucking YouTube video because TELUS's data service sucked so bad back in 2012. I don't know whether or not TELUS's service has improved since 2012. But their service fucking sucked ass. All the competitors love to bash Freedom. Like, I was at Koodo Mobile maybe about 3-4 years ago, and this stupid bitch at Koodo said to me, well, if you're with Freedom, their service sucks, and their service area is very small. Freedom has expanded their service area, and they have improved a lot. And all I know is that it's up to us as Canadians to try and stop this from happening. What can we do? What we can do is contact our politicians, contact our federal MPPs, elected MPPs that are in our areas, our federal elected MPs that are in our areas, contact Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, contact the Competition Bureau of Canada, and contact the CRTC. And also, I'm going to be going on change.org to see whether or not there's been any petitions set up speaking out against this takeover of Shaw by Rogers. But if there aren't any petitions set up, I'm going to try setting a petition up as well there too. Last time I tried setting up a petition on change.org, it didn't end up going anywhere because change.org, they have a fucked up algorithm, and I wasn't able to spread my petition out to lots of people like I wanted to. So hopefully change.org doesn't fucking suck anymore. But that's what I'm going to be doing. So contact your politicians. If enough people contact them en masse and let them know they better fucking stop this takeover, otherwise you're not fucking voting for them next fucking election, then maybe, just maybe, they might listen. I'm talking about the CRTC. The CRTC, I forgot what it stands for, but it's basically the federal Canadian body that oversees TV, radio, and internet service in Canada, as well as phone service. I guess they're like the Canadian version of the US FCC. The problem with the CRTC, why I think the CRTC needs to be fucking scrapped, gotten rid of, and have something else replace it, is that the CRTC is made up of former Bell and Rogers and probably TELUS executives. So talk about the right hand watching the left hand. Like, to me, that's a conflict of interest, that you have people, former TELUS, Rogers, and Bell employees, regulating all of our radio, TV, telephone, and internet service in Canada. So basically, the CRTC's in bed with these companies. That's why these companies manage to fucking get away with this shit. Yeah. Let's all contact our politicians, right up to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and the CRTC and the Canadian Competition Bureau, and sign any kind of petitions that we find on change.org or any other petition sites to try and stop this takeover from happening. This is fucking bullshit. We need more fucking competition. As a matter of fact, I'm going to try to see if I can hook up with a U.S. phone company, such as T-Mobile, because this is fucking bullshit. Like, when I spoke to my coworker who used to live in the U.S., he was telling me that you can't really be a U.S. cell phone customer if you're living in Canada. The service isn't good or something. I can't remember exactly what he said. But basically, they say that, you know how they say the squeaky wheel gets the oil? We need to all get together and make lots of noise to object to this unfair takeover. Like, it's funny how we don't have a monopoly in cell phone service, but we have 3 cell phone companies that basically have almost exactly the same prices. It's like Bell, Rogers, and TELUS are fucking each other up the ass, or sucking each other's fucking dicks or something. They're all in fucking bed, colluding, fixing the fucking Canadian cell phone prices, which is just not fucking right. Like, they're just like the fucking gas stations. You know, you can go to an intersection and see a Petro-Canada, Shell, Esso, and Pioneer gas station all on the same corner, and they have the exact same fucking price. Same fucking shit with fucking cell phone companies. It's absolute fucking bullshit. As a matter of fact, I think people should even peacefully and protest in a peaceful, law-abiding manner to show their disdain for this planned takeover. And it would be nice if people would fucking boycott Rogers. Like, there's probably no one's going to listen to me and boycott Rogers. But yeah, we should all fucking boycott Rogers. Anyways, this is not the last I'm gonna be saying about this matter. I'm really pissed off about it. As I say, make your voice fucking heard, and make sure that whenever we have an election that we vote. Everyone needs to vote. You may not think that your vote makes a difference, but yes, it does. It makes sure that the less evil party gets into power. So let's all contact our politicians and the Competition Bureau and the CRTC and do our best to stop this from fucking happening. And I just want to end off by saying, fuck TELUS, fuck Bell, and fuck Rogers, and fuck any politician that is in favor of the status quo.